Good evening, everyone. We're so glad you could join us for what promises to be a thought provoking and engaging discussion. Today, we're diving into a topic that plays a huge role in every workplace, sometimes in ways we don't even realize. Let's talk professionalism versus authenticity. Are they complementary, or do they secretly clash behind the scenes? Can you stay true to yourself while maintaining a professional image, or does one always have to take a backseat? To guide you through this discussion, I am Yusuf Borawin, your moderator, and sharing their insights, experiences, and maybe even a few spicy takes. We have Khatir Hiballah, Maryam Naimi, Amzuz Rania, Zakaria Selbi. What to expect? Here's the outline for today's discussion so you can follow along. First, Hiballah will start by defining our key concepts professionalism and authenticity. Then Rania will explain why professionalism is essential in workplace. After that, Zakaria will talk about the value of authenticity and why it matters. We'll then move to Maryam, who will explore the potential conflicts between the two, and also how to balance both professionalism and authenticity. And of course, we'll end with an open discussion and a Q&A where we'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, enough from me. Let's kick things off. I'll now pass the floor to Miss Hiballah, who will start by breaking down our key concepts.
So, before we delve into our discussion, it's essential to first clarify two key concepts, which are professionalism and authenticity. Envision a professional environment where connections aren't just about trading contact information or favors, but about meaningful human interactions, where each exchange offers an opportunity to connect as people and not just professional roles. To better understand this situation, let's start by understanding what professionalism and authenticity truly refer to. To begin with, professionalism refers to the behaviors and standards expected in a workplace to foster a respectful and structured environment. This includes adhering to industry specific attire, such as formal suits in corporate settings or uniforms in healthcare. It also involves clear and respectful communication, using formal language when appropriate, such as in emails, and observing workplace norms, being punctual, ethics, and such. For instance, a corporate lawyer is expected to dress formally, use precise legal terminology, and maintain professional ethics in all interactions. On the other hand, authenticity involves being genuine, expressing emotions honestly, and staying true to personal values. This means being true to oneself rather than conforming superficially, acting with integrity and aligning actions with personal beliefs, and appropriately conveying thoughts and feelings instead of suppressing them. An example of this is a criminal lawyer who had to defend someone charged with murder, knowing very well that they were the killer. What would you do? I'm sure many of you already have some thoughts to share, and we will be returning to this later on. Now that we understand the topic better, you may wonder, do professionalism and authenticity conflict, or can they coexist harmoniously? Is it possible to maintain high professional standards while being true to oneself?
Thank you, Hiballah, for setting the foundation of our discussion. Now that we understand what professionalism and authenticity are, let's dive deeper into their impacts. We'll start with professionalism. Why is it so important in workplaces? To answer this, I'll hand it over to Rania.
Okay, so why professionalism matter? Professionalism is the foundation of any successful workplace. It ensures order, respect, and efficiency. And here's why professional is essential. First of all, it builds credibility and trust. When employees are professional in their appearance, language, and behavior, they earn respect from colleagues and clients. And it also establishes reliability, and people trust who does consistently acts professionally. Second of all, it ensures consistency and workplace stability. Companies need a certain level of professionalism to maintain some standards, and it prevents unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings by setting clear expectations for behavior. And lastly, it helps to maintain boundaries. In the workplace, professionalism helps separate personal and work related matters. This prevents emotional decision making and keeps relationships strictly professional. For example, you can think of industries like finance or healthcare. A doctor, for instance, must remain professional in any stressful situation, even if they feel emotional. A financial analyst must present reports formally without personal bias. However, some argue that strict professionalism can feel a little bit cold or impersonal. Employees might hesitate to express themselves, fearing that they'll be seen as unprofessional. This is where authenticity comes in, and let's explore that next.
That was a great breakdown of why professionalism is crucial. But as Rania mentioned, too much professionalism can feel robotic and distant. This brings us to the other side of the debate: authenticity. Can being more authentic at work actually improve things? To explore this, I'll pass the word to Zakaria. Zakaria, can you hear us?
Now, let's talk about authenticity. What's its important and how it benefits workplaces. Foster strong workplace relationship. When employees are genuine, they create trust and a stronger connection with the colleague and the client. People prefer working with those who feel real and appreciable. Second, encourage creativity and innovation. Authenticity allows employees to share their unique ideas without fear. Workplaces that value authenticity see more innovation because employees feel safe expressive themselves. Both employees' well-being and job satisfaction. When people um, when people feel them can be themselves at work, they are more engaged and happy. Employees who feel pressure to act a certain way, performance, burnout, and dissatisfaction. Example: uh, think, uh, think of a tech startup where employees dress casually, openly share feedback, and contribute creative ideas. Their authenticity drives innovation and help them thrive. The challenge, however, authenticity without professionalism can create problems if someone is too casual. Oversharing shares personal issues or disregard workplace norms. It can harm credibility. So, can professionalism and authenticity work together? Let's examine the potential conflict.
That's a really interesting perspective, Zakaria. Clearly, authenticity makes workplaces more human and dynamic. But at the same time, too much authenticity, just like too much professionalism, can cause problems. So where do they clash? Are they actually in conflict? To explore this, let's turn to Mariam.
Thank you, Yusuf. So basically, as my colleagues have said before, we were kind of be able to see the multiple benefits of both professionalism and also authenticity, but we cannot really know exactly through that how exactly we cannot be really too professional nor too authentic. So, as we know, being too professional has some sort of side effects. That's how we can call it. Basically, exceeding the limits when it comes to professionalism can kind of make you seem a little bit distant or even unapproachable by people when you're working in some sort of a workplace, being too professional can make you kind of seem a little bit feared, and employees might not really feel too comfortable to come to you, nor express their emotions, nor talk to you, and that in some sort of a way creates some sort of a negative aura that surrounds you. Basically, employees will, in some sort of a way, feel that they cannot really express their emotions or personal opinions, which will indirectly, of course, hurt the workplace moral. And moving on to authenticity, when a person or an employee, whether the manager, whether the CEO, whether just a normal employee in the company, really kind of shares too much of their personal information, it might kind of blur the professional boundaries that should be or are really crucial in the workplace. It might even kind of create some sort of an image that will, some sort of a way, lack respect. And basically, being too informal might for sure damage the credibility in the workplace or even the relationships that are based on respect in a workplace. And as an example, to even kind of explain it even more, we can kind of imagine a sort of manager in a well-known company who is pretty much really professional. We can say that they never really share their personal stories nor jokes with the employees. They just really kind of stick to a really formal sort of behavior. They stick to really some sort of really formal emails. This type of manager will really be, I mean, in some sort of a way, they will really struggle to connect with the employees. And if they, for example, have some sort of a group project, they will really struggle to communicate with them because, as I've said before, they will, in a way, fear them more than really respect them. But if we see in other scenarios, for example, or from a different perspective, we might kind of really realize that if the manager is a bit too authentic, that if they really talk a lot about their personal struggles, if they really tell a lot of personal stories or pretty much that are pretty much too personal in every meeting, it might even kind of make the employees feel a little uncomfortable and even not really take the manager or the employee as serious as they should be. So basically, the person should really know exactly what to really share with the co-workers or the employees in a workspace and make sure that it stays in a way professional but a bit not too formal.
Thank you, Mariam. So now we understand why we can't have too much of either professionalism or authenticity. But the real question is, how do we balance the two exactly?
Well, basically, it does really seem a little bit hard, but it is pretty much very simple. The key, as you have said, is not to really just think about each one of them individually. Basically, we have to find the key balance between these two concepts, between both professionalism and authenticity. And I mean, as a way, I mean, things, there is some sort of steps that a person should follow or sort of laws that they should really respect. So first of all, they should really try to adapt to the workplace culture. When an employee joins some sort of a workplace, they are really, I mean, in a place that where there is certain rules are already, they were already set there right before them. You should really, or she should really kind of read the environment and just try to adjust their level of professionalism according to how the workers and how the employees really work there. They should really understand what are the limits and the boundaries that are already drawn there and just try to follow them and respect them. And that takes us directly to the second point, which is basically the person should make sure to be very much respectful, but at the same time be themselves. They are not really forced to be too respectful in a way that there is some sort of a hierarchy between the employees or between the people, but still they should really show themselves in a very respectful manner, in a very respectful way. They can, for example, share personal insights, but make sure that always they respect the boundaries and the limits, because as we know, the right of a person ends when the right of another person starts. And of course, last but not least, an employee should make sure that whenever they are in a professional context, they should make sure to practice emotional intelligence and take great use of it. So we know that an employee would really need to practice that and just know exactly when to be formal and when it is in some sort of a way very much okay to be authentic and just be themselves. And as an example of that, we can notice that in most of the great big companies, a great leader kinda is very much capable of balancing these two, which is professionalism and authenticity. They are in a way pretty much polished but also professional. And they also make sure to share their personal experiences, not really to tell stories, but basically just to inspire their team and to help their team not really make the same mistakes and just learn from their past experiences. Basically, this will help them maintain some sort of boundaries that really allow employees to feel pretty much heard and valued. Just pretty much make sure to share all their experiences and how exactly they should be doing things at work. Just to sum it up, rather than choosing between professionalism or authenticity, the best workplace is a workplace in which employees know exactly how to blend between these two, and just to create some sort of balance between them. Thank you.
Well, that was incredibly insightful. So instead of having to choose between professionalism or authenticity, the key is to blend them wisely and find a certain balance to create an effective environment. To sum up, professionalism and authenticity are not opposites. They can work together when balanced. Being overly professional may create a rigid, distant atmosphere, while too much authenticity can sometimes blur workplace boundaries. The key is adapting to the environment, expressing yourself while remaining respectful and fostering a workplace culture that values both structure and human connection. Um, so now let's start a debate. So, what do you guys think? Do professionalism and authenticity truly coexist? Have you ever felt pressure to be more professional or more authentic at work? Or let's just make it more simple. For instance, imagine you are a religious doctor who has to perform an abortion. Will you refuse to do it and stay authentic to yourself, or be professional and commit to the surgery without conviction? So I want everyone to answer. So we can start with Rania.
Okay, so in my opinion, I think if I was the doctor, I would stay professional because as a doctor, it's my duty to to serve, and doctors they took an oath of emphasizes to that emphasize that they have to do their job, and denying an abortion uh, means you're not doing your job correctly, and that's it. That's why.
Now we can have the opinion of Maryam as well. So what do you think?
Well,
What would
basically, for me, I think that if it was really, I mean, in such a scenario, abortion, if it was really much related to professionalism, it would not have been something that the law is really against in multiple countries. So I think in such a scenario, the doctor should really be authentic because, first of all, it is considered a crime in some sort of a way, and as I've said, it is much not really accepted by the law in multiple countries around the world. It is even a way to protect the emotional being of both the doctor, the family of the victim, or the person. And it's just in a way, a doctor should have some sort of moral convictions. In the medical field, especially, it is pretty much driven by a desire to really much uphold and protect a life of people. So risking it in such a way is pretty much a way to not really kind of show the respect to these morals that most doctors really are really responsible of and should really respect. So as you have said in the prompt, for a Christian doctor, performing such an act, which is abortion, might kind of really feel like a betrayal to their job and to their ethical principles.
All right, that's an interesting perspective. So how about you, Hiba? What do you think? What?
No, me personally, I agree with Miriam. I think that I would be authentic and that I would stick with my religious beliefs, mainly because I think that that would affect my professional ability to perform the abortion. I think that it would affect my well-being, and I also know that a lot of programs all over the world would protect my decision to not perform the abortion, and I know that other doctors would be able to do it, and so I would probably choose to abstain from doing it.
All right, so I think it's my time to say my opinion. To be honest, I would remain professional and perform the surgery, which is the abortion. Of course, if it is in a legal context, if it's illegal, then this is a whole other discussion. I truly believe that as a doctor and as any professional, there is no excuse to not do your job, and if that requires you to cross some boundaries, some moral boundaries that you have set yourself, then you're not being really professional, and I don't think it's fair in that kind of context. So that's my opinion about it. So thank you everyone for listening to us, and I hope you have had a great insight about professionalism and authenticity, and hope to see you again very soon.